This is the MandaLOREians Explosion X After Show, breaking down, discussing, and reviewing each and every episode of the Disney Plus original Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. My name's Don Blight, and joining me, Archie Holby.
Hey Dylan, I'm excited to be here, but I've seen Stranger Things. That's not a minor flair.
No, yeah, I know. I too was thinking that.
Yeah.
I assume a lot of people were thinking that, to be completely real. You know? I feel like it's going to be a common thing for this episode.
Excited to be here, Dylan, but I've seen Dungeons & Dragons. That's not a minor flair.
I've seen any fancy property. That's not a minor flair. This week's episode, The Convert, Chapter 19, directed by Lee Isaac Chung, written by Jon Favreau and Noah Kloor. Synopsis was, on Coruscant, former Imperials find amnesty in the New Republic. What was your overall thoughts on this interesting episode, Ash?
Yeah, it's crazy. We're 3 episodes in and like, oh, we're sick of these Mandalorians. Like, what are we doing? Let's explore a different part of the universe.
It's like a one for me, one for you scenario. They're like, we gave you one in the Book of Boba Fett's. Now we're going to give these off a show that.
Yeah, this is actually an episode that was meant to be in Andor.
Yeah.
Exploring. Yeah. Actually, it is funny because obviously they're at Coruscant. So I guess this is after Andor, so it's like several years after.
This is way after Andor.
Yeah. I guess the entire trilogy happened between now and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty solid episode. Again, exploring this early New Republic, I guess. Coruscant is an interesting and kind of, I guess, differing it, kind of understanding what the New Republic's trying to do, and their tactic is, let's just destroy everything that was part of the Imperial. Anything that was part of the Empire, let's just dismantle it, destroy it. None of it's worth anything. If we get rid of all of it, then nothing like the Empire will like bring up ever again. So I can understand the thought process behind it. So, yeah, I mean, it was interesting enough. Cool, interesting to see that Doctor character come back. Again, clones, massive thing in Star Wars at the moment. So, there's no getting away from him.
Dr. Pershing. I really enjoyed the start of this episode. And then when the swerve happened to Coruscant, I was like, all right, interesting. Let's see where this goes. And then when it was like sort of a feel sorry for the Nazis trying to reintegrate into society storyline, I was a bit like, okay, let's see where this goes.
He was like he's the Stanley Tucci dude from Captain America.
No,
my dude
was complicit as fuck. My dude was complicit as fuck. He was not. He was not.
Oh, did I say Stanley Tucci? I meant Armin Zola.
Let's also clarify something. Him and the other character who had the look-up name of Elia, right? So this like second officer part of Gideon's ship. Let's clarify something.
Katie O'Brien is having a big month.
What else is she in?
She was in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Was she?
She was the leader of the alien peoples.
Oh, cool. She was good in that. So in case people's mind is like sort of forgotten, the events of seasons 1 to 2, although we've since been told that there's years, an unspecified amount of time between these shows.
It's at least 4 or 5.
It's at least 17 years. The first season and second season when Gideon's there, that is after episode 6. It's after the Empire's over, right? So
yeah,
just to re-clarify for people, Gideon was an Imperial sort of pirate. He was not like actually part of the Empire was over. The New Republic was coming in. It's just in a weird limbo time where he was surviving on the outskirts as being this sort of like, I'm going to make the Empire still a thing. Like, I'm a big believer. Anyone with him following the cause, as far as I'm concerned,
I don't know why they were eligible for amnesty, is what I'm saying.
I don't know. Like
I feel like you had an option, like right at the start when the Empire fell, you could have like surrendered, and then
so like
you'd be processed.
You know, all those Ewoks started cheering. They do the whole parade on Coruscant. I'm seeing Return of the Jedi. I know. There was a certain stage there where it was drop your swords and your guns, and if you want to come be part of this amnesty program, you know. So 18 months later, when this motherfucker's flying around with Gideon, going, let's stick fucking needles in this little small Yoda looking motherfucker and suck his blood out, and then Dr. Pershing, let's not forget, he then goes and injects said blood into super soldiers to try and make fucking I don't know what he was trying to do there. That was a whole plot line. They make these super soldier midi-chlorian fucking Jedi crossbreed super soldiers. Yeah, this motherfucker then comes along and goes, I was just trying to make the world a better place because my mum didn't have a heart for a period or whatever was going on there. I'm like, no,
listen, Dylan, news takes a long time to get out to the Outer Rim, you know? They didn't realize the Empire had fallen yet.
Hey, what's the hey Gideon, like what's the I was just wondering what the message from what's the message from home base? Has Palps sent through like a mass email yet? What's the message this month? What's our game? What's our goals?
Why?
Oh, we're down in communications.
We're over budget. That's all we're hearing.
Like second Death Star's coming along well though. I can tell you that. It's can we visit it? No. We'll wait until it's completed.
We need to get that blood.
We need to get that fucking child's blood. And also, he does call it a child, Dr. Pershing, several times. They call it a child. They referred to it as a child. We as an audience referred to it as a child. He goes, I'm gonna get that child and take its fucking blood. I'm gonna stick it in these fucked up dudes here. Because
it's for the greater good, Dylan.
It's for the greater good. Yeah. It's for the greater good. Oh.
You can stick needles in anybody if it's for the greater good.
So, long story short, I'm sorry if your storyline about me wanting to care about this character. Look, I was on board. I was ready to give this episode a chance. I'm watching it going, there's going to be a good point. There's going to be a payoff, right? There's going to be a good story here. Nah.
Well, he just raises questions, I guess. Like, what is her motivation?
She's suckling her way straight to the top, I guess. She's playing the game.
Is she playing
She's playing the Game of Thrones.
Playing the Game of Thrones, and she's like, I'll just throw this doctor under the bus. The first thing
That's how I took it. Yeah.
I mean, it was either that or like she's like getting rid of people who knew her in her previous life. It's the other way I could have picked it up, you know. Like, I remember seeing you on Moff Gideon's ship.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy needs to die. He saw me there, so.
But that means about as much as anything else to the Empire, I feel. To the New Republic.
Unless she's a spy working into the New Republic.
See, I thought what they were doing was and maybe they are, and I just don't really get it. But I thought the point when the episode started was it was just going to be this storyline about how like the creation of the the remnants, the starting little dripplings of the First Order on Coruscant, right? So as far as we know, the First Order actually starts basically from within, at least covered in books and Star Wars expanded material stuff. The First Order starts from a group of disgruntled New Republic people within the like sort of political space and whatever who think that New Republic's doing a bad job at running the galaxy, and that like they do a splinter group sort of scenario. That's sort
maybe
of
it
how,
is, you know.
Yeah. So
maybe she's a spy trying to keep the Empire alive within the New Republic.
Maybe.
And she's like trying to figure out if this guy has any use or not. Ow.
So, am I supposed to care about her?
No, I don't know. I think you think about her the same way you think of old mate Deidre and what's his face? Old Punchables in Andor, you know?
Punchables in Andor. Oh, yeah, he's a bad like, we don't like him.
Yeah.
But he's enjoyable to watch. He's a enjoyable bad guy.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for here. And it feels like they watched Andor and they're like, we need to do an episode like that. And then
they're like, Jon Favreau's like, this Andor show is a hit. Let's do a political episode. The kids love the political episodes
this
now.
Espionage episode.
Yeah, let's do that. It's a hit.
It's like, oh no, what old Tony Gilroy spent years writing the story of that show, and Favreau's like, wrote over a week.
Tony Gilroy's like, rise up against oppressors, fuck Nazis. Jon Favreau's like, maybe the Nazis could come. Maybe the Nazis could have been reintroduced. And it's funny because I've seen people on Twitter, like, I saw someone quote, like, I don't remember the program name. Sorry, my history is bad. But someone, like, tweeted something about this week's episode of Mandalorian is just them trying to do the something or other program. And I didn't know anything about this. And again, I sound very stupid saying this, I'm sure to some people. But apparently there was a program where the American government, like, brought in Nazis. It was like, I can't remember the name.
Like anyway, I said, Armanzola.
Yeah, I was like,
after the war, they got him to go work on different research stuff.
Yeah, I knew there was one dude. I didn't know they did it for
There's like a lot.
I didn't know there was a lot.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of this. I'm sorry. My fucking history is blind spot apparently. So yeah, I was like, well, that's fucked up. Have we been outraged about this? And then I was like, yeah, apparently in history we were outraged about this. So yeah, because that sounds like a bad idea.
I mean, I don't know how you know, there's so many stories about giving amnesty to different, you know, and then them all turning out to be sleeper agents, you know. You know, watch the most recent season of Slow Horses. It was all about that.
All we do is record these shows about Disney shows to talk about other shows. Just to mention other shows. Oh shit, I literally just turned around and my fucking Apple TV is playing a trailer for Slow Horses. It hurt us! Holy shit.
It knows, yeah.
Knows everything.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Chicken you. Give him chabs on you. Yeah. So, I mean, it was very weird. Just, whole train sequence, that was interesting, I guess. Like, so, like, such a common thing to, like, those espionage kind of stories of a ticket inspector coming around. And then when they were jumping between carts, I'm like, oh, how's this droid going to get across?
Easy.
And he has his own little platforms can pop up when it needs to go between carriages. Yeah. Also, it's very sad that the thing he misses is the biscuits, and they did not look like very good biscuits.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of shortbread, right?
Okay.
Now, shortbread, plain old shortbread, doesn't look like much on the outside.
Yeah.
Fucking tasty, though.
Let me ask you a question, though. Do you reckon the Empire is making tasty shortbread? No. Or they're making the most basic-ass, generic shortbread possible?
Yeah, I feel like this is an attempt at some very, like, this is some next-level writing from our duo of Noah Kloor and Jon Favreau here. What it is.
Also, how suspicious is it? He's got the shortbread. It's got a giant Empire logo on it.
Yeah. Didn't even change it to a fucking Ronnie McDonald logo or something. I don't know. Like, just keep it in the black Empire tin. Just sitting in his house. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, yeah, no. What is it's next level, right? So he's trying to talk himself, old mate Dr. Pershing, he's trying to talk himself into his, new republic. But the constant eating of shitty tasting biscuits that remind him of the time with the Empire it's a psychological thing, you see?
Yeah.
It's next level. You know what I hate more than that, though? Is the fact that they do a a whatchamacall test. I can't remember the name of it now, but they do a whatchamacall test in this constantly. You know, they have this robot talk to him once a week.
Like Blade Runner.
Like Blade Runner, yeah. But I can't remember the name of the test that they make him do, the Ryan Gosling thing. Spoilers. He's not a human.
What? What about Harrison Ford?
Whoa.
The Voight Camp test.
No,
no way you would remember that.
No, they don't say that. No, it's called something else. They call it something else. It's like a ground test, a baseline test, or something like that. Like something along those lines. But they're doing something like that for Pershing, and I just found it very weird. Personally, if I was running the New Republic, I would probably have a human do that test, because I'm pretty sure old mate is sitting there going, you know, robot's like, do you have any bad feelings about the New Republic? And he's like gritting his teeth. Nah, I'm fine. I'm totally good. And a human would be like, you look angry though. I can see it on your face. Meanwhile, the robot's like, cool story. Nah.
Cool. We're just translating the words.
Yeah, next question. She's all good, mate. That was a bit weird.
It had multiple appointments, that droid, so I mean, I understand. It just wants to get him in and out.
Seems like a shitty system. Like much of what the new
Republic government
is doing. Yeah. New Republic is just as shitty, is probably the worst.
I mean, it's got no, honestly, at this point, it's like they have no idea what they're really doing.
No, and they don't. And they're just, it's so funny because it's, as much as I'm glad that our heroes, as terrible as a movie as The Rise of Skywalker is, right? And that I'm glad our heroes won, and our heroes being Rey and friends, right? But I'm almost annoyed that I'm almost annoyed that the New Republic got to be part of that. Like, I feel like the New Republic should
they took credit.
Yeah, like they just, you guys didn't deserve to win. These are a pretty shitty government, to be honest. I feel like if this was Australian politics, it'd be like, you know, you got Labor and they're running, they're the New Republic, right? So they're in at the moment. Liberals, they're like the First Order, they're like Empire and stuff. And then they have this whole big battle and Labor comes out top, but I'm like, man, you could have just had the Greens win. Was there never a third party option in you got the whole of the galaxy and we have two fucking, it's actually, you know what? Completely off topic at this stage, but in a word where I complain about the fact that a lot of people only vote for two parties and we have this whole fucked up two party system in Australia. And I'm like, you know, more people should start voting for third parties and stuff. They only got two parties in the whole of the galaxy. How the fuck am I going to get people in Australia to vote for anything other than two parties? Two party system in the fucking galaxy. Come on.
I mean, that's not true. There's multiple smaller parties, separatists, the droid peoples, the Trade Federation.
Nope, they all died out. They're not real.
I'm sure there'll be a new Trade Federation, new separatist party. Yeah. Everything old comes back eventually.
Pretty sure the Trade Federation is just a big name for the you know, the house party.
I have no idea. I'm just naming things.
Of banks. But really good things about this episode, outside of this whole odd storyline we had happening amongst the 80% of it. It started banger. Dogfight was awesome. I'll say that. Yeah. Fucking awesome dogfight sequence that we had. Really liked that. You get to see Bo-Katan's second home blown up, so that sucks.
Can't catch a break.
Cannot catch a break this lady. But then they sort of ruin all the really good stuff that they had with those two at the start of the show. Or those three, I guess, because there was also that I really appreciate how Grogu, like, as soon as he's like, oh, we're going to the battle, he just shuts his whole little off. Like, he's just like closes the door, and then when things you think they're fine, just comes back out.
Also, why was that droid falling over? Like,
what droid? Oh, the Gronk droid.
The Gronk droid, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Isn't the gravity work in those ships?
No, it's a shit droid. We know this. I don't think it knows how to work its own parts.
It's got no magnets on it.
It's a terrible droid. No, it's a bargain of a droid, though. I don't know if you heard. Do you remember 2 episodes ago when we thought we was going to have to spend half the season getting a droid, and we ended up with this fucking thing? But then we get to the end of this episode. We go back to bloody Sand Planet hiding away with the rest of the Mandalorians over here, and we have this whole scene was dumb. I hated everything about this. The whole they didn't come in. They're like, oh, we put the water in the system. It's real. I'm fine with that. Then she's like, you wanted in, Din Djarin. This is the way. You're back in. And then,
yay!
For all their, we don't push our religion on you bullshit, they then, she turns around and goes, inducted. Bo-Katan, you're in. Bo-Katan goes, you're in? Keep your fucking helmet on. Pray to the god of Mandalores. You're in. Right? Don't hear anything. They just chuck her in.
I mean, she said, technically by the rules of our religion, you're technically a Mandalorian.
Even though you didn't ask to be in it.
I'm trying to find think of another analogy.
No, it's a cult. It's a fucked up cult is what it is. So, Bo-Katan, you're in. Now, the only reason I feel that would make sense for her to not have just taken a helmet off there and gone, giving everyone in the room the fucking finger.
Because there was a whole bunch of Mandalorians.
There was that too. But the only reason, which I would have loved to have seen that happen, by the way, and the alternate cut where she just takes the helmet off and just goes, fuck all yes.
I need to find a new house to go mope in.
Yeah, fuck all yes. I'm not part of your stupid bloody cult. The only reason she'd be playing along is because now that she knows Mandalore's potentially savable, that she wants to use them, I guess, to save or attempt to save her planet, I guess, or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. The only other question, I guess, amongst all this is where, why, and how were all these TIE fighters, TIE bombers?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Who?
Because again, let's clarify, this is set in the New Republic era, right? So they're all
TIE fighters.
They're all TIE fighters. They're bad guys. They're Empire, First Order. Now, at least as far as I'm aware, in my timeline, I would say the First Order isn't around yet. However, I've no idea where the show's set anymore, so maybe they are. In season 1, was the First Order a thing? No. In season 3, where there's apparently years and years and who knows how long between these seasons, maybe the First Order's now a thing. I don't know.
Could it be Tarkin?
No, Tarkin's dead.
Is he though?
Yeah, he blew up. He was on the Death Star. I don't know if you remember this.
No, what am I thinking? Thorn. That's all these T names. But maybe he wasn't on the Death Star.
No, he was very much on the Death Star. He said, fire when ready.
Maybe it was another Tarkin.
It was a clone. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. That's the intro.
See, it'll be Thorn, and then, we go to the Ahsoka series, and it's like 3 episodes of that is what will actually be the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm really looking... I'm really looking forward to watching one episode of Ahsoka. Getting one episode of the Book of Boba Fett, one episode of the Mandalorian following that, then an episode of the Acolyte.
Obi-Wan shows up.
Obi-Wan shows up. Fuck these Disney shows, man. I'm so... I'll fucking turn and heel on them. I swear to God.
Did you see the report that this season's been the lowest watched one so far?
I'm not surprised.
Lower than Boba Fett and Obi-Wan as well.
And you know what they did with those numbers? They screwed them up. They fucking picked up a dart. They had all the shows on the wall. They said, which one should we cancel? The Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan. Fuck you, Willow.
Oh no, this one's got gay representation. That's
yeah. This one has
infected our Star Wars shows.
This is the one that people actually like.
Which George Lucas property can we get rid of?
Willow. That one never got. That one's already been cancelled once. Bam. Fuck you, Willow. Yeah, it's fine. We give Warwick Davis a cameo in every season of every Disney Plus show. There's a different alien. He'll be fine. The rest of the cast, not so much.
I mean, bring her, what's her name, back to do from Solo. Do that spin-off show.
Infant's Nest.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, I'm all for an Infant's Nest show. But
just recast that entire cast in it.
Just
in that spin-off show. Done.
I mean, the honest reason, and probably the realest reason that this season's numbers down so far, though, I reckon, is 100% on the Book of Boba Fett. I don't even think that's hyperbole.
They're like, why are this kid and why is the Baby Yoda back? Or they're asking, where the hell's Luke Skywalker? The show hasn't got Luke Skywalker anymore. What's the point of watching?
I don't think anyone knows what the show is anymore. I don't know what the show is anymore. It was pitched as this. I'm watching it every week because, there's times I like it, there's times I don't. It's a wild ride. But I never know what I'm going to get. I sit down to watch this show every week and I go, what's happening this week? What crazy stuff's happening this week? But the show was pitched as, like a pulp adventure, right? I think that was like the general pitch. Pulp adventure of this Mandalore. And then as the further along we've got now, it's this weird amalgamation of trying to backdoor pilot a bunch of other things, make sense of the rise of Skywalker, and I don't know. Luke Skywalker's here too. Cool. I don't know. Anything else for this week's episode?
No. Yeah.
Director this week, by the way, Lee Isaac Chung, director of Minari.
Totally different to Minari.
Yeah. I haven't even seen Minari, but I assume it's totally different, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of any parallels between the two.
No. Noah Kloor, I looked up before, by the way. Staff writer on the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh.
7 episodes. And you know how much we like that show.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of The Mandalorians. You can find our other Star Wars podcast on the Holocron podcast feed at the moment. We've got the very bad batch happening between listening to this show and that show. You may be wondering, Dylan, do you guys even like Star Wars? To which I say, go listen to any episode where we discuss Andor, because the answer is yes. We had a very high
the bar's
high.
Just been very raised.
Yes. So that, highs are highs and lows are lows is what I would say to that. You can follow our Twitters heading to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter, and you can find our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord, if you would like to come tell us how terrible we are at life. I don't know. Until next week, we have spoken.